So once upon a time, I stood in front of cameras for a living, reporting the news. And I thought, I got this. Well, fast forward to this past October 1st, there I was, terrified of hitting record for my first YouTube video. Because, you know, talking to millions about weather and politics is nothing compared to asking the internet, will you like me? So let's talk about the irony here. I mean, I was a broadcast news reporter. I've stood in front of live cameras with a mic in one hand and a hurricane trying to knock me over, calmly telling people, stay indoors, it's dangerous out here. Well, did I flinch? Nope. Did I stumble? Never. Did I secretly wonder why I was the one risking my life while everyone else stayed safe inside? Oh, absolutely. And yet, when it came to sitting in my cozy little home with no hurricane, no mic, no live audience, just me, my camera, and my ring light, I was terrified. Like sweaty palms, second guessing myself terrified. And the kicker was this. There was no boss yelling, make it perfect. No viewers calling the station to inevitably complain about my hair. It was just me, and somehow that was just scarier. How is that even possible? I mean, reporting live in the middle of chaos, easy. Talking to the faceless void of the internet, pure terror. What if no one watches? Or worse, what if someone does watch and they hate it? These are the kinds of existential crises that hit at midnight when you're trying to upload your first video. You know, there was this one time in my reporting days, I was live on location at this festival and my earpiece wasn't working and the camera guy was flailing around like one of those wacky inflatable tube men, and some kid in the background was throwing a tantrum because their cotton candy had hit the ground. Did I flinch as I was reporting? Nope. I smiled into the camera, delivered my lines, and kept it moving like Beyonce at the Grammys. Grace under pressure, baby. Fast forward to this past October 1st, when I sat down to record my first YouTube video, suddenly I'm out here acting like a deer in headlights. I mean, I was sweating, I was stuttering, and giving myself a pep talk like, girl, you've faced angrier crowds at Black Friday sales. Get yourself together. Well, the irony hit me like a plate of hot grits. I used to handle live chaos on the daily, I tell you. Technical issues, rowdy crowds, and angry producers breathing down my neck. But sitting alone in my own house with my camera and my thoughts, that took me all the way out. It's like, so you mean to tell me I can survive newsroom drama, but YouTube has me out here looking hella shook? Make it make sense. I mean, I've been yelled at by bosses in newsrooms, chased deadlines, dodged rainstorms on live TV, but asking myself, will anyone watch this video was apparently my new nightmare. So there I was, sitting on my couch, staring at my camera like it was my mortal enemy. My brain was in full sabotage mode. What if no one watches? What if people judge me? And then out of nowhere, I had this aha moment. I thought, wait a minute, why am I even tripping? I've been through real struggles. I mean real ones, like bank robberies, fires, raising kids, dealing with crazy bosses, moving mountains just to keep it all together. You think I'm gonna let a YouTube algorithm intimidate me? Nah, kid, not me. That's when it hit me. Who cares? I have something to say, and somebody out there needs to hear it. Even if it's just one person, that's enough for me. So what did I do? I took a deep breath. I told myself, girl, you have survived worse, and hit record. And let me tell you, that first video was not great. And neither was the second one, or the third, and maybe even the fourth. But you know what? It was mine, and that's what mattered. Here's the thing. I started this channel because I realized something that not enough people are talking about. The 9-to-5 grind, it's a trap. They sell you this dream, work hard, climb the corporate ladder, retire at 65, but what they don't tell you is that the ladder's missing half of its rungs. And by the time you get to the top, You're too tired to enjoy the view. Then I started learning about that there are people out there who share what I've been feeling in my heart, real everyday people that were actually breaking free. They were ditching the grind, moving overseas, and living better on half the cost. And I was like, hold up, why didn't anybody teach us this? So I made it my mission to share what I was learning, because there are moms out there, dads out there, folks like me who are done. I mean, we are just done being stuck. And I want to be the voice that says, you know what? There is another way. You don't have to settle for burnout and frustration. That's why I keep showing up and hitting record and telling these stories for somebody out there, anybody, to hear it. And if that somebody is you, then I'm talking to you right now. Listen, I'm not here just to vent about bad bosses or long commutes. I'm here because I believe that we're all meant for more. More freedom, more joy, more life. And if you're watching this, maybe deep down you believe that too. Maybe some still small voice has been talking to you. I started this channel because I wanted to inspire people to think differently, to look at their lives and say, what if? What if I could have more time with my family? What if I could wake up excited about my day? What if I could actually live instead of just working to survive? And I get it. Change is scary, but staying stuck, that's scarier. I mean, I was constantly having heart palpitations before I decided to move overseas. My why is about helping people, helping you see that there's another path, one where you can break free from the grind, move overseas, or just redefine what success means for you. Because if I can take that leap, you can too. And let's be real, I'm not doing it perfectly, but that's okay, because this journey isn't about perfection at all, believe me, because there's so many bumps along the way and hills and all of that. It's about progress. So let's keep going together. I mean, I didn't start this thinking I'd go viral in my head, but I was like, what if this channel blows up and I have to quit my day job because now I'm a big deal? Well, let's just say I'm still working on it. So I started making YouTube videos around October 1st, and I joined Vlogtober because one of the YouTubers that I watched, he just sounded so real to me. His name was Clantis, his channel name is Clantis on Business. And I just really enjoyed his easy way of talking in front of the camera. He was explaining on his channel that every YouTuber should do videos for Vlogtober. And that's where you post every single day in order to help build up your channel. So, you know what I did? I decided to take the challenge on, and I did it. I made a video every single day. And, well, in my mind, I said I was going to do it. Because actually I was thinking, oh, okay, is this it? I mean, it actually sounded fun, like a cute little autumn challenge where I'd post videos, sip pumpkin spice lattes, and just watch the subscribers just roll in. But then reality hit, because day one, I was fine. I felt like a rock star, because I actually did it. Day two, it was manageable, and by day three, I had the kind of existential crisis usually reserved for people stuck in rush hour traffic. And I should have remembered this from my news reporting days, because we would spend half the day filming and then come back to the news station and the rest of the hours just editing. And that took a lot of time. It's not just slapping clips together and calling it a day. It's trimming, adjusting, rewatching the same 2 seconds 15 times because you said too much, and finding the perfect sound effects so your sarcasm lands just right. I get home about 8 o'clock at night, and after that, my pillow is calling me. But you know what? No pillow for me. I gotta figure out dinner, and then let's be real, by the time I've microwaved some leftovers or begged DoorDash to save my life and come send something to me that's still open, it's already 9:30. So then I have to sit down to start editing, and that takes at least 2, sometimes 3 hours. And then finally I get to hit post and think, okay, now I can relax. But no, because my adrenaline is so sky high after that, who's calming down after that? Not me. Now I'm lying there in bed staring at the ceiling like, okay, why does the YouTube algorithm hate me so much? And then before I know it, my alarm goes off and I'm like right back up, pretending to be a functional human by 8:30 a.m. to leave for work. It just never seems to end. But as chaotic as it was, Vlogtober gave me structure that I didn't even know I needed. It forced me to show up every single day, even when I didn't feel like it. And let me tell you, there were plenty of days I didn't feel like it. Plenty. I was so tired all the time. But the adrenaline just kept me going because I knew I had to show up for the next video. And here's the thing about showing up daily. It builds momentum. By week 2, I started thinking, okay, I survived this far. Maybe I can actually keep going. And by week 3, I realized I was creating habits. Not just habits for filming and editing, but habits for believing in myself. And that meant the world to me. I mean, sure, there were moments when I wanted to quit. Like when my computer decided it didn't feel like exporting my video for the 3rd time in a row. And that took, I can't even tell you how many hours that took. And then when I accidentally deleted half my footage and had to film part of it over again, I'd remind myself, you know what, you signed up for this. You chose this chaos and the people need their daily dose of whatever this is. And let's not sugarcoat it, because posting daily sounds great until you realize the sheer energy it takes. Because it's like, do I really want to succeed or do I want to take a nap? Because napping, that's instant joy. But editing for hours, that's just suffering with a side of hope. By day 5, I started bargaining with myself. I really did. I would say like, okay, if I just edit half as good, maybe the audience won't notice. Well, guess what? They always notice. And by day 7, I was at the point where I'd see my ring light and start questioning all my life choices. As soon as I walk in the door, I'm like, oh, there's that ring light again. I guess I gotta do this. And then I'd say, I mean, why does it have to be daily anyway? Maybe I can skip a day. Can't the YouTube gods accept sacrifices instead? But somehow I kept going, because despite the late nights, the editing headaches, and my growing caffeine addiction hitting all kinds of new heights, I was building something. And deep down, I knew it was worth it. I could feel the difference inside. Even if I looked like a zombie the next day at work, you think I cared? Nope. People would tell me, oh, you look so tired. Okay, thank you. So when I started Vlogtober, my confidence on camera was, well, let's just call it questionable. I mean, sure, I've been on camera before, but this felt different. It's one thing to have a newsroom script and a producer in your ear, and it's another to sit there alone, staring into a lens, trying not to cringe at your own voice, you know? But by the end of the month though, I wasn't just talking to the camera. I was vibing with everybody that I felt like was on the other side. And it stopped feeling like a chore and started feeling like a conversation. I'd hit record and think, okay, who am I talking to today? And it was like finding my rhythm. And honestly, it felt good. And there were a lot of things I needed to get out. So it became like a therapy also. But let's talk about the audience, or the ghost audience as I started calling them in those early weeks. I'd watch my views go up, which was exciting. But then I'd check the comments and crickets. I started the month like, okay, will anyone watch this? And ended up yelling at my phone, okay, who watched this? And why are y'all so quiet? Say something, people. Anything. It's wild because the numbers don't always tell the whole story. Because sometimes you'll post a video that you know is fire and it gets like 17 views. Then you'll post something random while you're half asleep and suddenly it's your top performing video. I'm like, make it make sense. But here's the thing I learned. I learned to appreciate every single view, every silent lurker, every accidental click, every person who stayed for 10 seconds before dipping, because it's all part of the process. And with each video, I could feel myself getting better, not just at editing or filming and being in front of the camera, but at connecting with people even when they weren't commenting. I started realizing, hey, You know what? Someone is out there watching because the views are going up. And that's enough for me to just keep going. Honestly, the YouTube grind taught me a lot about patience and perseverance. Like, you know how they say, if you build it, they will come? Well, first of all, that's a lie. It's more like, if you build it and scream into the void long enough, someone might accidentally stumble in. But when they do, you better be ready with snacks and a good story, because they're not staying otherwise. Now, if you guys have been following my channel for a minute, you know that I've been very, very direct and very real. I am passionate about living my best life. Not the one society says I should be happy with. You know, the one I'm talking about, you know, grinding away at a 9-to-5 job 5 days a week for decades until you retire at the age of 65, and then all you have to show for it is like a gold watch or something like that, and then your knees are about to give out, and it's just a constant reminder that excuse me, why didn't you stretch in your 30s? I mean, who signed up for that? Not me. I don't know who wrote the script for this so-called American dream, but it's giving serious plot holes. Like, why is a dream to work yourself into the ground and then maybe get to rest at the end? No thanks. I want to rewrite that script starting now. And I want to write it not only for myself, but I want to rewrite it for you too. The 9-to-5 grind is so wild when you sit there and think about it for a minute. You spend your prime years sitting in traffic, eating sad desk salads, listening to your boss tell you, hey, we've got big plans for you. Well, you know what? Those plans usually involve you doing more work for the same pay. And don't let me get started on those team building exercises like, oh yeah, sure, playing charades at a conference. I mean, that's totally gonna make me forget that I'm underpaid. And the funniest part of that, they tell you to work hard and you'll climb the corporate ladder, but what they don't tell you is that that ladder is so shaky, it's missing all kinds of rungs, and it's leaning against the wrong wall. So by the time you figure all of that out, you're halfway up and wondering why you can't see the view yet. That's why I started looking into moving overseas, because there's a whole world out there where people actually live instead of just surviving. There are places where you don't need to ask for PTO just to go to your doctor's appointment. I mean, that is such a waste. You want to be able to at least relax on that day, right? Imagine working less, spending more time with your family, and still having enough money to enjoy life. Isn't that a wild concept? But the more I learned, the more I thought, why am I here settling for burnout when I could be living my best life somewhere else, like all these other people are doing that I'm talking to? That's what this journey is about. Taking control of your future and redefining what success looks like. Because if living well is the goal, I'm not waiting until retirement to get there. I mean, just imagine this. Instead of counting down the hours to 5 p.m., you're counting the days until your next beach day. Instead of working for the weekend, you're working on your tan. And instead of worrying about office politics, you're trying to decide which local market has the best croissants. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like such a better dream to me. Now, here's the deal. I'm not just here to entertain you with my awkward camera moments or cynical humor. It is pretty cynical, isn't it? My real goal, though, is to inspire you to think differently about your life and give you the tools to make it happen. I want to share practical advice that you can actually use, not the fluffy, just follow your dream stuff, but real actionable steps. And whether those are tips on how to save money, side hustle ideas, or way to explore moving abroad without freaking out about the logistics, I've got you covered. And let's be clear, because I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow. I mean, unless your boss is really pushing it, then in which case, hey, you do you, boo. But for most of us, it's about planning your escape. It's about asking yourself, what kind of life do I really want? And then taking baby steps to get there. Think of me as your unofficial escape coach. I'm here to say, okay, you've got options. And not only will I help you figure out where to start, but I'll also help you pack. Metaphorically speaking, of course, unless we're talking about snacks, because I'm all about snacks, especially Cape Cod chips. Oof, those are my favorite. Seriously, I know what it's like to feel stuck, to feel like you're living the same day over and over, wishing for a way out, but not knowing where to begin. That's precisely why I share my journey with you. If I can go from working a 9-to-5 to creating a plan for freedom, so can you. I share my wins, my mistakes, all the in-between moments where I'm just figuring it out. Because let's face it, none of us have this all together. But if I can show you that it's possible, even when it feels messy and overwhelming, then maybe you'll start believing that it's possible for you too. I'm not here to tell you to throw your work laptop out the window and run off into the sunset. Although that does sound tempting. But I'm just saying, start thinking about what freedom looks like for you. Whether it's ditching the corporate grind, moving overseas, or just finding a job that doesn't make you want to scream into your coffee every morning. And don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'll be here cheering you on, helping you strategize, and maybe even slipping in a few jokes to keep things light. Remember, I'm going through this too. So are you ready to start planning your great escape? Good. I'll bring that packing tape. So I just want to say thank you. Seriously, thank you for being here, for watching, for commenting, even if you've just been lurking. Thank you for being a part of this whole wild ride as I started this channel since October 1st. Because it wasn't just about posting videos, it was about putting myself out there in a way I've just never done before. And the fact that you've been here listening to all my ramblings in the car, it means more to me than I can even put into words. When I reflect on how starting this channel has impacted me, I wasn't sure where it would take me. I mean, I knew what I wanted it to do. I knew what I wanted to talk about, escaping the 9-to-5, moving overseas, living your best life. But I didn't know how it would feel to actually share my story. What I've learned is that this channel has been just as much about my growth as it is about helping you. It's taught me to trust my voice, to show up even when I'm nervous, and to keep going. Even when the views aren't what I hoped. Because sometimes I'm looking at them like 4 views, 5 views, but you know what? It reminded me that sharing my journey, the real messiness of it all, the imperfect journey, can be really powerful. And honestly, connecting with you has been the best part. Hearing all your stories, they have moved me so much. And seeing your questions and comments, it makes me feel like I'm not just talking to a camera. I'm talking to you. And that connection, that's what keeps me coming back, even in the hard days. When I hit that record button for the first time, I never imagined the impact that this channel would have. Not just on others, but on me. I started out thinking, okay, maybe I'll help a few people. Maybe I'll help them rethink their 9-to-5 or consider moving overseas. But it's grown into something so much deeper. The message that I've received from you all have been incredible, especially the ones from viewers who feel like they're stuck, like I used to feel. People saying things like, well, I guess I'll just work until I die because there's no way out of here. I mean, I don't want people to feel that way because I felt that way before. I've been there and know what it feels like. The system has you trapped. And to those of you who feel that way, I want you to know something. You are not alone, and I see you. This channel isn't just about me sharing tips or funny stories. It's about building a community. It's about reminding you that there is a way out, even if it feels impossible right now. I don't have all the answers, but I'm here to figure it out with you. And if my journey can help you, if it can help you take even one step forward to freedom, then every late night edit and awkward on-camera moment has been so worth it for me, let me tell you. So as I look ahead into this new year, I've got big dreams for this channel, one of which is hitting 10,000 subscribers. It's not just about the number, but it's about reaching more people who also want to be unstuck, who need to hear this message so that they don't feel lost or hopeless anymore. And we need to remind them that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So I need all of you, everybody, to share the videos with other people and let them know that they don't have to feel this way. They don't have to live this way. For those of you who've already shared your stories with me, thank you. Thank you so much. You've inspired me to keep going, even on the days when I'm running on fumes and caffeine, because this isn't just my journey. It's ours. Ours together. I want this channel to be a place where we can laugh, cry, and figure it out together. So here's what's next. More videos, more practical advice, more real talk. And we're not just going to talk about the grind. We're going to talk about breaking free. And we're not going to just dream about living overseas. We're going to make it a reality. So to every single one of you watching, thank you for being a part of this. Whether you've been here since the beginning or you're just joining the ride, I'm so grateful to have you with me. And trust me, the best is yet to come. And finally, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and join this community. Together, we're going to hit that 10K milestone. Keep growing and keep building the lives we all deserve. And remember, whether you're here for advice, laughs, or just to watch me figure this whole thing out, you're part of something bigger now. The best is yet to come, and I can't wait to share it with you. So yeah, I was nervous, but you know what? Forget nerves. I have stuff to say, and you'll hear it, whether I'm talking to one person or a million. So let's go.